Hello.
So I have a very important question for both of you. So, why do they call it an oven when you oven the cold food, of out hot, eat the food? This is extremely important. I need to know.
Say it again?
Why do they call it oven when you oven the cold food, of out hot, eat the food?
Are you Yoda? that was the last panel.
Oven to eat food. Awesome. Yes.
This sounds like Inosuke logic.
It's John Arbuckle from Garfield.
Oh.
Someone wrote that down, and it went through an entire panel of editors, and they're like, publish it now.
Wow. I hope we get some gems next season.
I'm going to be thinking about that for a week. So thank you.
Let's go!
Go ahead.
Hey, so I have a question. Who do you think would win in a fight? Silver or Tanjiro?
Wow. I do. I am the new voice of Silver the Hedgehog. So excited. It's a franchise I grew up playing, and it is really an honor to take on that role.
It's my favorite franchise of all time.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I hope he shows up in the movie and they bring me in. Come on, put it out there, world. That would be so cool.
You know, I have a solution to this question. Put them both in Super Smash Brothers, and then we can find out.
Yes. I like this. I agree.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, you guys are both amazing. You know, I grew up playing, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a very, fun, sort of inspiring series too. And I also really like Demon Slayer. I also like Dr. Hito. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Absolutely are.
It's no use. It does.
Thank you.
It's a great Silver. As I eat my cinnamon roll and slow down.
I just want to know what your favorite dinosaur is.
Favorite dino? Wow. Oh.
Whoa. Ooh, well, maybe for me, I gotta say, I just went to Universal and in Orlando, and I went on Velocicoaster. Velociraptor.
Awesome. I like T-Rexes. My arms are about as long as theirs.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello there. I'd rather sign instead of speaking out loud in English, so if I may. I'm wondering, I love Demon Slayer, of course, and Attack on Titan. I love it. Anyway, I was just wondering, in the future, do you think that there might be any deaf characters or actors in those series?
I mean, you've read the manga. You know more.
It's entirely possible. I mean, honestly, I think it would be cool for them to add more in, for sure. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what's coming, but it would be very cool to see that, to see how someone would survive in those worlds. Yeah.
Yes, I think that would be wonderful because I want to see, more artistry and how it changes the animation and how to convert that into sign language on screen instead of voice acting and just moving the mouth. I know it would be a little bit more difficult to draw that, but it'd be interesting to see.
That would be really interesting, huh? Yeah, the animation. I wonder if the animators would probably have to bring in somebody who is able to, sign properly so that they can make sure everything is accurate.
I'm almost wondering if they could do mocap with that to
They probably could, yeah.
I know that there are other anime series that do have characters that are deaf. I'm sure you've seen them.
What's the one with Robbie? Is it a
A Silent Voice?
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yes, I agree totally. So anyway, that was my only question. question, but I just wanted to say hello. And I know for Blue, I wanted to see for the soul there. I wanted to, I just wanted to make sure. I want to see if I can steal it.
Thank you.
Love the
very much.
cosplay.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. My question is, what was the hardest scene in Demon Slayer to record? Or saddest scene to record?
Ooh, oh, the hardest scene.
You've had some tricky ones.
I know. I'm in pain. Tanjirou is actually, he goes through a lot. This poor child. Yeah, the scene, my favorite scene, and also the hardest scene is when he fights Gyutaro. That was very intense. At the end of that recording session, it was the middle of the day, and I went to bed right away, and I went and slept for like 10 hours because we had done everything leading up to it that day. I had done all of the fight scenes, the fight noises, just getting beaten up, and then finally that very last all-effort, like all-out scream that he does. I remember the director. It's like, wow, this thing's like over 10 seconds. It's like, man, I would hate to be you right now. And I'm like, gee, thanks. That's a great direction.
How long is one of your normal recording sessions? I mean, obviously you guys have to protect your voices and don't want to strain them. So, is there an average length of time when you go into record?
Usually, most sessions for us are anywhere between 2 and 4 hours, depending on a deadline for a show. I've done some crazy, like 6-hour sessions, 8-hour sessions. If they're vocally stressful, I do my best to limit them though, like maybe only a couple hours at most. We kind of jump around a lot, but in terms of recording each episode, there's no set amount of time. For Demon Slayer, I guess, like in an episode where Tanjirou talks a lot, it probably takes me anywhere from probably like 6 to 9 hours of recording, maybe a little bit more if it's just like a ton of dialogue.
Yeah.
I've been really fortunate with Inosuke because most of the time he's wearing his warhead, so I don't have to worry about hitting the lip flap. So I just have to talk as his little snout is moving up and down. So it gives me a lot of freedom to have fun with him. And most of the time, I'll do a take one time and they go, great, moving on. So most of the takes you hear are just my first attempt at those lines. So I've had a lot of fun in those sessions. I think the very first session I had with Inosuke, the first half of it was my most difficult. And it was because I was trying to find where the voice was, and I didn't have a couple tricks. The first trick I learned after that session is a vocal warm-up is kind of needed, and I don't normally do a vocal warm-up. I'll teach you guys the vocal warm-up I do for Inosuke, so you can try it. I think it works really well. So you get in your car, okay? You get in traffic, have to be in traffic. There's always traffic in LA. You make eye contact with another driver and go, ha 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 ha. It works really well, and then you watch them squirm to try to get away from you. So that's the first thing you do. I learned that after day one. And the second thing you do to voice Inosuke is you get really dark, disgusting coffee. So the first day of the session, I hit the wrong button on the coffee machine. And instead of like a 6-ounce pour, it was a 1-ounce cup of sludge. Okay? Like black tar in a cup, the kind that's so bitter it makes you angry. So I took a sip and I was like, and that's Inosuke. So now I always drink that disgusting coffee the entire time. So once I discovered those 2 tricks, I just had fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to have probably time for, I'm going to say about 3 more questions before we got to wrap this up.